everyone, my name is Samantha Dutton-Jones and I am a Kwantlen Polytechnic University Public Relations student. I'm here today with Andrea Hadley, who is the president of D-Strategy Media and the producer of the Digital Strategy Conference. Today she had a presentation about the evolution between social media strategy to social business strategy. Andrea, could you maybe give us a definition between the difference of social media and social business?
Yeah, happy to. Thank you. Really, social media is like the beginning of social business. It's a starting point. It's where an organization becomes familiar with the tools and the visibility and the potential transparency of having your organization out there where conversations are happening and you don't actually control those conversations. So social media is the first step towards becoming or having social business strategies. The transition happens when an organization, for example, KLM, an airline, Dutch airline, they launched with having a basic launch into social media back in 2008, 2009, where they opened up their accounts, they had some visibility, they were doing some tests, but it was very kind of ad hoc and the initial stages. And then what happened in 2010 was the volcano erupted in Iceland, and KLM found themselves in the position of having 50,000 plus customers grounded, and the immediate need to communicate with those customers. And there were very few processes in place for them to be able to respond that quickly. So they leveraged social media to meet that need. They launched a dedicated Facebook page and they launched a dedicated Twitter handle, and over 150 employees volunteered to offer round-the-clock support to those customers to be able just to basically communicate, answer the questions, alleviate concern, let people know what was happening, what was anticipated, and to provide opportunities for rebooking. And so that was an opportunity where KLM looked at what they had been doing that had been very ad hoc, and then they moved into more of a immediate response to a situation, a crisis situation, really leveraging that opportunity.
Okay, so yeah, KLM was something that you talked about in your presentation, and just to sort of recap, they started off as social media, using Twitter just to more so update their customers and things like that. But when the crisis hit of the volcano erupting and customers being grounded, you were explaining how they went from the process of not just using Twitter as a tool to update the customers, but now using it more so as a tool to fix the crisis and to get the customers out of the situation of being grounded on the ground.
But to give them the opportunity to rebook their flights, and using social media to facilitate that process. And so that, for them, took what had been just social media to another level of crisis management communications. And at the same time, social media then it wakes up the top executive at KLM, and the attention of the CEO, the penny drops. This is much more than just having a couple of accounts on Facebook and LinkedIn and monitoring sentiment of what people are saying. This is actually a business tool that we can use to improve the business, to improve the customer experience, and to add much more value to the way in which we communicate with customers.
Okay. So KLM was a perfect example of how, social media to social business really worked out for them. Have you ever come across an example or of a case study where maybe social media or social business took the wrong turn?
Well, there's certainly lots of examples out there of probably the most common example is when something goes wrong and a company does nothing. They don't respond. They don't know how to respond. Or it's been dictated that they're not allowed to respond. And then what happens is the conversation happens anyhow. The customers and the public engage in a conversation about what's gone wrong, whether the company is participating in that conversation or not. So again, that offers opportunity for companies when they have like some kind of a disaster situation happen, and when they're not engaging, that in itself becomes a really good experience of understanding the impact of when you don't engage and everybody's expectations are that you will.
Yes, that's a perfect crisis when companies or businesses don't respond to something that's happened, like the eruption of the Icelandic volcano.
Yeah. Well, yeah, I mean, KLM was rebooking passengers where a lot of other airlines were just providing basic communications.
Yeah. Great. Well, thank you very much for that recap. Once again, everyone, this is Andrea Hadley, and she did a presentation on the evolution of social media strategy to social business strategy. For more recaps or information on this presentation, you can find a few other short clips on the YouTube channel, as well as a written recap on the CPRS website. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Thank you.